welcome to the Pink Sphere podcast. This is your 30 minutes of pink, your weekly space to pause, breathe, and tune into something that might just change the way you think about yourself. And in today's episode, we're joined by Dina. She is one of our brand new coaches at the Pink Sphere, and she's a law of attraction coach. I am really excited for this episode, and I just want to jump right in. Hi, Dina. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Nadine. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. I just want to start with my first question. What is law of attraction?
Law of attraction is a law that governs the universe. So, just like the law of gravity, law of
Mm-hmm.
attraction is always working. And what it means essentially is that we are the creators of our reality. We are essentially magnets, and everything that we are experiencing in our lives, we have created, we have brought to ourselves for particular reasons for us to learn and grow and develop as human beings.
Wow. Thank you for your answer. And how does self neglect block the law of attraction from working in our favor?
So we are magnets, and when we are not um, expressing our full selves, when we are blocked, we attract that same vibration. So everything in
Mm-hmm.
the world is energy, and we are energy. And when we are blocked, we are our energy is at a lower vibration. It's if you think of it like a
Okay.
radio station, we can either be tuned into the doom and gloom channel, where if we are in that channel, then everything we experience is doom and gloom, and everything's not working out for me, and everything is so
Yeah.
hard. But we can also be tuned into the channel where life is wonderful, everybody's loving and beautiful and happy, and we can also exist in that way. And there we experience love. We are able to attract money and success and whatever it is we desire. So we are the
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah. And you need to be a little self centered for this, right? And what's the difference being between being self centered and being selfish?
So um, self-centered means that you are in the center of yourself, and that is exactly where we should be. But especially for women, I find
Yeah.
we are socialized into being there for everybody else. We put everybody else's needs, everybody else's wants ahead of ourselves. And because of that, we then become martyrs. So a lot of people, men in particular, will describe women as martyrs. Even our children might see us as martyrs
Mm-hmm.
because we're constantly doing for other people. And
Yeah.
when we don't get that validation, it's like, oh, after everything I've done for you, and this is how you treat me.
Yeah.
When we don't get that validation, then we are resentful. Self centered is very different to selfish. Selfish is where you put your needs above other people's needs to the detriment of that person. So it's a kind of
Mm-hmm.
like I'm winning and you losing. I'm taking away something from you. But self centered, I am giving to myself. And by giving to myself, I'm then able to give to others from a place of fullness and a
Mm-hmm.
place of abundance. And then it feels beautiful, and then it feels generative, and then people appreciate it because there's no strings attached.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And why do you think women are often shamed for focusing on themselves? And we, us as women, tend to, like you said, care for others before caring for ourselves. Why do you think we feel shamed or others make us feel shamed about this?
Yeah, so I think it's part of how we've been socialized. It's part of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
So it's the way to keep women in their place. It's a way to make us feel, well, not even make us, because I think it's a choice. And
Yeah.
when I say that with great hesitation, because it has been decades and centuries of socialization. But I think as women, we need to wake up to this and to see ourselves as powerful, and that we need to be able to pour into ourselves. It's like driving a car. You
Yeah.
can't keep on driving a car without stopping to put gas or petrol into that car. And we need to do the same for ourselves. Otherwise, we are burning our vessel out. So if we want to be powerful as women, We need to be able to fully step into our power, which is being in the center of ourselves. And that is scary for everybody,
Yeah.
especially the patriarchy.
Yeah, it is. It is. And for someone who's never done it before, how how does she start putting herself in the center in a positive and healthy way? How do you start doing that?
So I think for me, I started with just putting some time aside for myself every single day. So I was a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
and the only time that I had was very early in the morning before my children woke up. So that was my time. And so it's important to have me time, time for you to do something that pours into your own vessel. For me, it was meditation. It might be something else for other people. It could even just be at the end of the day, taking a nice bubble bath, closing the door, shutting everybody else out, and just being there with yourself and um, putting energy back into yourself, whatever that means. Whether it's journaling, whether it's singing, but it does need to be some kind of self reflection and some kind of silence away from distractions, away from the cell phone, away from um, computers and TVs, so that we can look inwards into ourselves. Because if we are creators, whatever it is whatever is happening in our outer world is because um, it's a reflection of what's happening in our inner world. So we need to look inwards and see what is happening inside of me that I'm creating or experiencing what is happening on the outside, and what adjustments do I need to make in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And one
Mm-hmm.
of the main adjustments is self-love and kindness. We need to be kind and loving towards ourselves first.
Yeah. Yeah. And how can self-centering practices shift the energy you attract, and how does self-love strengthen your personal magnetism? How does it happen? What happens when you put yourself in the center? Does it just changes everything, or it happens slowly?
It can happen slowly, it can happen fast, and it
I,
can.
I want to happen fast. I want it to happen fast. How do you work around that?
So there are, where it happens fast and slow at the same time. That
Okay.
is the duality, right? But the way that I like to see it, one of my mentors talks about this, is she says, as human beings, it's like we are vacuuming the house, right? We are, we're moving the furniture, we're putting a lot of effort. It's really, really hard work, only to find out that we haven't plugged the vacuum cleaner in.
Mhm.
And when we are self centered, we are plugging ourselves in,
Okay.
and that gives us more ease. It gives us more power.
Hmm.
So what you start to see when you become more self-centered and you focus on yourself and you raise your vibration, we open our hearts to love. We're more kind to ourselves. We are therefore more kind to other people. We are more loving. Love is the frequency that attracts everything. And when we do that, we start to see everything change in our lives. And it can happen really fast, and it can happen slowly. So when it happens slowly, it's because we are countering it with our beliefs, our feelings, our thoughts, our socialization. So it takes a lot of awareness. If you can stay in that high vibration place, it's tuning that channel, right? If you can stay in that radio station, then the attraction will come really, really fast. But what happens is, you've meditated, you feel great, everything's wonderful. You open your computer and there's an email, and your vibration just goes for a nosedive. And then you're on a different channel. Now you're in the
Yeah.
channel of stress and worry and whatever else that is. And it takes energy and awareness to go, okay, no, hold on. I don't want to be on this channel. I want to go back to the other channel,
Hmm.
and to bring yourself in whatever way you can back to the vibration of love and light and happiness and well-being.
Hmm. So let's say for me, okay, so I'll be the example. So I'm a mom of two. I created the pink sphere. I'm working on it. I'm doing everything on my own. I also have the house chores that I have to do. I have to pick up my son, I have to play with my daughter during the day, the laundries, the dish, it's just everything. And I have my husband with me. How do I start putting myself in the center? I just don't know that, because I'm always there for others, and I don't know how to be the center of it all.
Yeah,
What should I do? Where do I start?
yeah. It isn't easy. And
It's not.
it's not easy.
It's not.
And as I said to you, I was a single mom
Yeah,
for
you were.
four sons, and I was the sole provider, so I know this very
Respect.
well. And it's not easy, but for me, as I said, it was I made it my commitment to myself to wake up
Mhm,
really early before anyone demanded anything of me,
mhm.
and that was my time. Um, and I think, you know, that may or may not work for people, but you need to find a space, a time that could work for you. I know when I got divorced, and we had this every second weekend thing with the children, I was thinking, you know what, we should do this when we were married. That every second weekend I could have a weekend off and I could
Yeah.
do something for me. I don't know what it is. And that's maybe why, people need coaching, or you need that time to self reflect and to go, what would work for me? How can I start to craft some me time where I can put time and energy, and it's about excitement, tapping into your excitement. What are your passions? Because often, when you become a mom and you just get so busy, you forget about your own
Yeah, you do.
passions, your own creativity, and it's important for us to be able to do those things because that's what fuels us.
How can mindfulness help women return to themselves in busy or toxic environment? Mindfulness is all about coming back to yourself, being present. Do law of attraction and mindfulness go hand in hand?
Absolutely. Mindfulness is about being in the present moment. The present moment is the only moment that is powerful, and that is
Mhm,
where we create from. Where we lose our vibration or lower our vibration is when we step into the future and start worrying and planning and trying to figure things out. That's not our job. Or when we go back into the past and we are stressing about something or regretting something or obsessing about something.
mhm,
So when we're in the present moment, that is the position of power. Eckhart Tolle talks about that, and he says that it's almost like it's a dimension where you go deep. And
mhm,
in that deepness, everything that you need is there in that moment of presence. Um, all the questions are answered, everything that you need is there in that moment,
mhm.
but we need to be able to be in the present moment to experience that.
Okay. And what do you think about the boundaries? What role do boundaries play in staying self centered?
Boundaries are it's essential, and I think that's something that I have struggled with as a woman, and I think a lot of women struggle with boundaries, um, and being able to assert your boundaries in an assertive, strong and loving way.
Hmm.
Um, so, very often, because we're not used to or able to put a boundary in place, and people are used to just walking all over our boundaries, when we do put them in place, it's often seen as aggressive,
Hmm.
and it comes across as aggressive, and we maybe are even aggressive. So it's about learning how to, when you're self centered, and you are clear about who you are, what you stand for, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate, then you're able to express that in a way that is clear and kind and non negotiable. And then your boundaries are very clear. So boundary work is one of the hardest things I've had to learn for sure, is how to put boundaries in place. Even my dogs, I would shout at them, go out, and they would look at me and go, who are you, and why should I even listen to you? So it's
Yeah.
even to that extent that we need to be able to go, no, I'm. I have some authority here. This is my realm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard having boundaries. It's hard having people to respect your boundaries, but we have to
Yes.
start working somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
What about in relationships, in romantic relationships especially? What happens to a relationship when a woman becomes more self-centered, and what role does feminine energy, awakening your feminine energy, play a role in the whole law of attraction?
So I think when you become more self-centered, you become more of yourself. You become a more loving and
Mhm.
kind person towards yourself, and then that reflects back into the world. So your relationship therefore becomes more loving and more kind. You're less judgmental. You are there's less friction. Sometimes it could create a problem if you're in a difficult or dysfunctional type of a relationship, and then that's a whole different story. And I think reclaiming our femininity doesn't mean you're weak. It's there's a strength in femininity, in intuition, um, a sense of receptivity um, and softness that is really beautiful. But when you also have that with your boundaries, so I think it's important for us to balance masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
And relationships, I think, are an opportunity for us to learn how to balance the masculine and feminine. So we learn from the our male counterparts how to bring in some of that masculinity, and they learn from us how to bring in some femininity into their life so that they can balance themselves. Um, for me, relationships are meant to help us become whole human beings. But often what happens is the woman plays a feminine role, the man plays a masculine role, and it's almost like two halves come together, and then we start to fight over who owns this whole,
Mhm.
instead of becoming whole human beings that have something which is a different entity called a relationship.
Mhm.
And that's a whole, that's, I mean, I could talk for hours on this
Go
particular
ahead. I'm here.
topic.
Go ahead.
So what happens in relationships is that you meet this man, he's wonderful, he's strong, he's protective, he sees you as someone who's nurturing and loving, and so it's perfect, right? You're in
Mhm.
love. Then you get married, or the
Years
relationships
pass.
develop,
You
and then
have kids.
exactly, and then he starts to see you as you're now henpecking him, you're mothering him, you're wanting to know, where he is, what he's doing.
Yeah.
You're looking at him and going, he's aggressive, he's overprotective, he wants to know where I am all the time, he's trying to, control me. And that's because you're you are, as the woman, overdoing the feminine, and him as the man, he's overdoing the masculine, because you're not learning from each other how to integrate masculine and feminine. So I'm going, oh, I'm in this relationship, I don't need to learn masculine, I'm going to leave that job to you. And he's going, oh, now I don't need to do the feminine, I'm going to
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
that
yeah.
job to you. And that becomes a problem. And that's when you start to go, no, I don't want this aggressive man, or this person in my life. And he's going, oh, I don't want this nag in my life. And that's where problems start to happen in relationships. So it's really important for us to start to learn and claim the the parts of ourselves that are missing, so that we
Mhm.
can become whole human beings, and we can balance that masculine and feminine. I like to think of it like being a conductor of an orchestra,
Mhm.
that we have all the different parts within us. So when I need to, as a woman, if I need to bring out the drums and the aggression because I'm being threatened, I can do
Mhm.
that. I know I have that
Yeah.
ability. But if I want to play the flutes and the violin and I want to be soft and feminine, I can do that as well. but I need to know in what situations I need to bring, which
Which, yeah.
instruments in. And so I think that's for me, the important thing
And
is
it's
to
a
become whole.
choice. It's a choice you have to make. Yeah.
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 And
And
to know you can do it. That if I need to, I can protect myself. And if I need to, I can also be, you know, bitchy or whatever it is. But I only do that when I need to bring that part of
yeah.
myself in. But I
Yeah.
don't do it all the time.
Yeah. And how do you put yourself in the center with your family or with your friends? Do you have to set up your boundaries again? How do you do that?
Yeah. So I think when you are authentically in the center of yourself and you are loving yourself, the boundaries happen almost naturally. People don't even tend to test those boundaries because
Yeah.
if you are the creator of your reality, and you believe so much in and love yourself enough to go, these are my boundaries, people don't even question those boundaries. It's when we're not too sure that people are going to start to question, and that's an opportunity for us to then strengthen within ourselves, go back inside ourselves and go, okay, something needs to be strengthened there. But yes, we are in relationship with other people, and often people will see that and they will take you as a role model and go, oh wow, I want to learn how to be like you. And even just your being self-centered helps them to love themselves and put themselves a little bit more in the center. But there may be some people who are like, no, I don't like this, and will try and fight you and bring you back,
Change you. Yeah.
change you. Because I think relationships are like dancing with each other, So you step back, the other person steps forward, and so you're
Mm-hmm.
in a dance with each other. And when we start to focus on ourselves, then we might not necessarily be dancing to their tune. And now they want us to dance back to their tune. And so things can get a little bit difficult until they realize, no, we have to get into a different dance, another dance with each other. And then they learn that healthier kind of dance with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or the relationship will split up and you'll go separate ways.
Yeah. And what if you meet someone who is so self-centered, but in an unhealthy way, and it affects your life? What do you do then? Do you just step in and try to change her or try to make her notice, or him? What do you do if someone who is self-centered in an unhealthy way?
Yeah. So I think let's just clarify the words, because I don't think you can be self-centered in an unhealthy way. That would be selfish.
Selfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Okay,
would be
so my
selfish.
question was nonsense.
Yeah.
Let's just
No,
forget
no, no.
about this question.
No, it's no, but it's a good question. So I think if because a lot of people will claim to be self-centered, they're doing it for them, but they actually are selfish.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what you were getting at. And
Yeah, yeah.
I think with that, it's important to have communication is really important, to be
Mm-hmm.
able to say, this is not working for me. You can do you, but when it affects me,
Mm-hmm.
and so if it is in the dance, it's up to you to go, this dance is not working for me, I'm stepping out of
Yeah.
this dance, and I need to do what is healthy and right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I think, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does. It does.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I do have a few people in my life situation, but they are so self-centered that it annoys you. You can see it.
If you are struggling with this, a lot of other people are struggling
Yeah.
with this concept. And I think that this whole idea of being self-centered is such a difficult concept for us because of the fear of being selfish. and
Yeah.
and we've been told, not to be selfish and to put other people first. And so when we are self-centered in a in the way that I'm talking about, putting yourself in the center. So you are now the conductor of your life. You are
Mm.
in control of your life. And you are, it comes from a loving
Yeah.
place. It comes from a kind, loving, non judgmental space. So in that space, you would never be doing anything that would harm or hurt another person. If you're if you are behaving in that way and somebody is saying to you that it is affecting them negatively, then that is their issue because they are wanting you to dance to their tune. And then you need to have a conversation with them and be clear about what feels good and right for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody is doing something, claiming that they are putting themselves first, but it is affecting you negatively, that is for you, that is not okay. And that's when you then need to learn how to have honest and difficult conversations. And to be able to tell the person how their behavior is affecting you and why it is a problem for you. And um, all the time trying to focus on how much you love them, how much you want to be in relationship with them, and that you want to try and figure this out. So how do you figure it out? And that might be the phase of trying to figure out what is the new dance between us.
Yeah.
How do we now create a new dance between us?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's
Yeah,
a hard one. That's a
yeah,
hard one. It is.
it is.
It is.
Relationships are difficult.
They are. They are. Ah. So let's go back to law of attraction. How does law of attraction reward clarity and being self-centered and self-focused? What are the rewards of it? What comes after having the vibrations on and being in that radio channel? So how does the rewards come?
So everything is attraction. So it comes in the most magical, surprising, and unexpected ways.
Yeah.
um, you, yeah, it's like you can't even imagine how these things happen. So that's why I often say to people, we're trying to figure out how these things are going to happen. But if we really believe in law of attraction, and our work is doing our inner vibrational work,
Yeah.
when we do that work, whatever it is we want, it just things show up. It can be from the smallest things to, the person that you've been thinking about. You've been thinking about this person, and all of a sudden they phone you. Or you walk down the street and there's money on the street. Or you weren't expecting, you need money for something, you weren't expecting a payment, and all of a sudden there's a tax refund or something in your account. It's just the most magical things happen all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't really expect it. It happens
It happens.
magically.
Yeah. And for our listeners who are here with us today, if they want to take just one step today towards becoming more self-centered and to activate the law of attraction and start receiving the rewards, what would your one message or one tip be?
So I often recommend to people that they create a feel good morning routine. So
Okay.
from the time you wake up in the morning, what can you do to really feel good? Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
waking up and when you go to your shower, singing in the shower, dancing. For me, I say it's meditation, and then I will sing and dance in the shower. But it's about from the time you wake up, as you open your eyes, don't reach for your phone and start scrolling through Facebook or whatever, because that's going to dip your vibration. Do something for you that is going to put you in a good mood, even if it is something small like singing. But a feel good morning routine is going to plug you in and raise your vibration. And then if you can try and keep in a high we call it high flying place, a high vibration place. Keep tuned to that radio station as much as you can throughout the day, even if it's taking short little breaks just to look out the window, look at the sky, take some nice deep breaths, whatever it is, to just bring yourself back into that vibration.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much for being here with me today, answering all my questions and introducing the law of attraction to us, to our listeners. And that's it for today's 30 Minutes of Pink. And if this episode spoke to you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, ask your questions for Dina or for me, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.